Good morning. This is the Bible lesson for Sunday, June the 7th. Hope you are all well. We're continuing our video in the book of John, and today's video will cover all of chapter 5. So if you wanted to read along with me as we watch the video, you can. So I'm going to go ahead, not waste any time. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll watch chapter 5.
After this, Jesus went to Jerusalem for a religious festival. Near the sheep gate in Jerusalem there is a pool with 5 porches. In Hebrew it is called Besatha. A large crowd of sick people were lying on the porches: the blind, the lame, and the paralyzed. A man was there who had been sick for 38 years. Jesus saw him lying there, and he knew that the man had been sick for such a long time.
Do you want to get well?
Sir, I don't have anyone here to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up. While I'm trying to get in, somebody else gets there first.
Get up. Pick up your mat and walk.
Immediately, the man got well. He picked up his mat and started walking. The day this happened was a Sabbath, so the Jewish authorities told the man who had been healed,
"This is a Sabbath, and it is against our law for you to carry your mat."
The man who made me well told me to pick up my mat and walk.
Who is the man who told you to do this?
But the man who had been healed did not know who Jesus was, for there was a crowd in that place, and Jesus had slipped away. Afterwards, Jesus found him in the temple.
You're well now. So stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you.
Then the man left and told the Jewish authorities that it was Jesus who had healed him. So they began to persecute Jesus because he had done this healing on a Sabbath. Jesus answered them,
My Father is always working. And I too must work.
This saying made the Jewish authorities all the more determined to kill him. Not only had he broken the Sabbath law, but he had said that God was his own Father, and in this way had made himself equal with God. So Jesus answered them,
I tell you the truth. The Son can do nothing on his own. He does only what he sees his Father doing. What the Father does, the Son also does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all that he himself is doing. He will show him even greater things to do than this, and you will all be amazed. Just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, in the same way the Son gives life to those he wants to. Nor does the Father himself judge anyone. He has given his Son the full right to judge, so that all will honor the Son in the same way as they honor the Father. Whoever does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. I am telling you the truth. Those who hear my words and believe in him who sent me have eternal life. They will not be judged, but have already passed from death to life. I am telling you the truth. The time is coming. The time has already come when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God. And those who hear it will come to life. Just as the Father is himself the source of life. In the same way, he has made his Son to be the source of life. And he has given the Son the right to judge because he is the Son of Man. Do not be surprised at this. The time is coming when all the dead will hear his voice and come out of their graves. Those who have done good will rise and live. And those who have done evil will rise and be condemned. I can do nothing on my own authority. I judge only as God tells me, so my judgment is right. Because I am not trying to do what I want, but only what he who sent me wants. If I testify on my own behalf, what I say is not to be accepted as real proof. But there is someone else who testifies on my behalf. And I know that what he says about me is true. John is the one to whom you sent your messengers. And he spoke on behalf of the truth. It is not that I must have a human witness. I say this only in order that you may be saved. John was like a lamp, burning and shining. And you were willing for a while to enjoy his light. But I have a witness on my behalf, which is even greater than the witness that John gave. What I do, that is the deeds my Father gave me to do. These speak on my behalf and show that the Father has sent me. And the Father who sent me also testifies on my behalf. You have never heard his voice or seen his face. And you do not keep his message in your hearts, for you do not believe in the one whom he sent. You study the scriptures because you think that in them you will find eternal life. And these very scriptures speak about me, yet you are not willing to come to me in order to have life. I am not looking for human praise, but I know what kind of people you are. And I know that you have no love for God in your hearts. I have come with my Father's authority, but you have not received me. When, however, someone comes with his own authority, you will receive him. You like to receive praise from one another, but you do not try to win praise from the one who alone is God. How then can you believe me? Do not think, however, that I am the one who will accuse you to my Father. Moses, in whom you have put your hope, is the very one who will accuse you. If you had really believed Moses, you would have believed me, because he wrote about me. But since you do not believe what he wrote, how can you believe what I say?
All right, that was another opportunity for us to see Jesus having some anger with people. He was not very happy with those people at the temple, the Pharisees, because they did not believe that he was telling the truth. They thought that he was a big fat liar. And so they didn't believe him. They were starting to get really aggravated with him. And you saw that last guy sort of glaring at Jesus as he left. They're going to try to kill him. And as you know, they're going to succeed in killing him. So all that part, Jesus is telling the Jews who he is, that he is being written about in the scriptures, that Moses was writing about him. And if they didn't believe Moses, they weren't going to believe anybody, because Moses had written the law and they believed everything Moses wrote. But they weren't reading it all, and they weren't believing it in their current times. All right, so all that part, there's a lot of anger and emotion going through there. I want to focus on the first part of that chapter, where there's some emotions as well. Some almost, let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it, so I'll go with another word. The man by the pool, he is depressed. He's been laying by that pool. He's been sick for 38 years. But some of you are 5 years old, some of you are 6 or 7 or 10 or 12. I don't know how old you are, but just look at your parents and however old they are. That man has been sick maybe longer than your parents have been alive. That's a really long time. So he's depressed. He can't move. Nobody's there to help him. They're lying by this pool because they think that if the water is bubbling a little bit and they get in there, then they'll be healed. But he doesn't know if that's true, because he can't even get in there. So he's really sad, and he doesn't know who Jesus is, I guess because he doesn't get out very much. And so he gets this question from Jesus, do you want to get well? Well, it seems like kind of a weird question. He's laying by that pool hoping that he will get well. And so Jesus just tells him to get up, walk, pick up your mat. Well, I didn't get in the pool. I wonder if that'll work. But he believes. And I think his legs felt different, and he knew that something had happened. And so he is able to get up and walk and pick up his mat, which was a miracle. So Jesus cared about people. I think that's what we want to get from this story. Jesus cared about people who were sick, people who couldn't walk, people who couldn't hear or see, or even people who had died. He cared about them. So let's remember that in our world today, that we want to be like Jesus and we want to care about people. Let's see. Our craft for this week, you had 2 choices. One of them involved little popsicle puppets. I should have sent wider sticks. So if you have a wider craft stick than the one I sent in the package, it might work better. So anyway, you're going to cut out your little puppet man. Jesus, and then this is Jesus, and this is the lame man. See, I cut one of his arms out. And then you're going to put a popsicle stick with a face. This one just has one side, so this is going to be Jesus. He's happy. Sticking it through there. You can see his little face. I would probably put some tape on there just to hold it. And then on this popsicle stick, I've got a happy face and a sad face. So I'm going to put my sad face in there first, because this is the paralyzed man. He started out sad. Okay, so here he is. You don't want to tape him because you're going to flip it over. And then you've got his mat. I colored his mat like this. So here he is, laying on his mat. He's very sad. Let me hold it like this. And then Jesus comes and says, get up. Oh, here he is. Get up. And then so the man does. He gets up, and his face changes to a happy face. There he is. And then you can even fold up his bed and stick it under his arm. You kind of have to hold it there, but it looks like he's carrying his mat. So then you can tell the story and use your puppets. If you don't feel like doing puppets, there's also just a coloring sheet that you can do. Okay, let's talk about memory verses. So I'm going to share my screen again. Right here, Marshmallow heard the door open, so he likes to bark. Here's our memory verse for this week, week 5. Then Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. I like how it says at once. It didn't take any time. You didn't have to wait for the medicine to start working like you do if you're going to the doctor. It happened immediately. And that's how powerful Jesus is. He can do things immediately. So I hope you all are working on your memory verses. This one is shorter than last week, so maybe it'll be a little bit easier. That's really the lesson for today. Jesus cares about people, and he is who he says he is, and he wants people to read about him in the Bible, both the Old Testament and the New Testament. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.